And there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Second game coming up here after a 68-66 victory by Albertus Magnus over WPI in our first of two games here at the Purchase Pod. Purchase, New York, hosting that game against WPI by Albertus Magnus. And game two, obviously they're playing it as Purchase, and it is against the Hartwick Hawks. They are 18-9 if memory serves on the season, Jody, and started the season at 4-5, and yet they picked up a lot of steam as the season went along and won the Empire 8 tournament last weekend. What do you expect to see in this one, where we don't have as much contrasting styles as we may have just contrasting stories this season?
Well, I expect this to be another great game as our first game. Purchase is going to come to play. It's their home court. They definitely don't want to be upset. And, hey, Hartwick, at the end of the day, they're in the NCAA tournament. They have a tough task tonight playing on the home team's court in the pod. But, look, it's the NCAA tournament. You and I have seen doing this a long time. Once this game gets going, it's all about basketball. So I expect Hartwick to come and play. I expect Purchase to do great things. Tonight should be a fun one.
Jody, we want people to interact with us during this game. I've left my Twitter address up there, Twitter handle. So go ahead, tweet me. You'll hit both of us during the game. Let us know you're out there. It always helps. Schools wonder, are people watching? Are people listening?
Well, Frank, excuse me. I'm under 40, and I've never tweeted in my life. Should I go see a psychiatrist?
Nonetheless, there are so many ways to go with that.
I thought so.
I chose the path of least resistance. So let's talk about our likely starters in this game. Sorry, Jody. Yes, starters. There we go. Hartwick. Number one, Joey Lufkin, a freshman guard. So youth, notice on this Hartwick listing, is going to be prevalent. Number 11, Matt Petruccione, a junior guard from Saratoga Springs, New York, my home area. Number 13, Kyle Bradley, a senior forward from Cornwall, New York, 6'4", 210. Petruccione is 6'1", and Joey Lufkin is 5'9", just so you know. Also, number 32, Matt Wilson. He's a sophomore center, 6'9", from Shelton, Connecticut. And number 33, Jared Sutterly, a senior forward, 6'6", from Newport, New York.
And he's the man. That's where it begins and ends for Hartwick. His ability to score and score in bunches is tremendous. Team's leading scorer, senior captain, just a great player. If Hartwick has a chance tonight, it really starts and ends with him.
Let's go to the purchase list here. And number 3, Andre Nixon from Harlem, New York. He's a senior guard. He's 6'3", 165. Number 12, Justin Person. He's a junior guard / forward, 6'3", 190 from Greenburgh, New York. Number 14, David Houghton, senior forward, 6'6", 210 from Greenburgh, New York. And number 25, Ryan Lobbin, a senior guard forward, 6'7", 190 from the Bronx, New York. Drove through there to get here today.
Absolutely, the wonderful boogie down.
And number 33, Joel Neri, junior center, 7'2", but we've been told he's actually grown to 7'3" since this was published. Port Chester, New York. I'm not going to actually get out there and measure him. I'll tell you that.
Well, after lunch today, I grew a different way, so it's okay.
A full inch?
Yeah, full inch, unfortunately, yeah.
Well, you know.
Weight Watchers isn't helping anymore, so just enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen.
More of you to love, Jody. More
Absolutely.
of you to love. Joel Neri, I was just talking to you before the game. He seemed a little cautious in taking shots in the Skyline Championship last week, and you got to think that, overall, they need him in this game to really be effective. Definitely at the defensive glass and whatnot, but also offensively to put up some easy shots.
Well, if you look at Skyline Conference basketball, you're automatically thinking 3 of the last 4 years, Purchase College. When you're thinking Purchase College, they've had a lot of good players, student athletes coming in and out of here. But really, Andre Nixon and Joel Neri are 2 guys that have come to mind every year. And again, Joel Neri, he's another guy that has to be able to get going in order for Purchase to win. He could do that against some teams, but in the NCAA tournament, he needs to be able to score and score like he's done against other opponents at will during the course of the season for Purchase to be successful and make a deep run.
So, Jody, we're 2 minutes away from our buzzer from warm-ups. I have to warn you have to be on your best behavior about Albertus Magnus, the previous game winner, because Coach Mitch Oliver is to your left now and listening to every word we say. I think we got nothing but good things to really say about that team, how resilient they were in Game 1 on our other stream. And they will face the winner of this game. And obviously they are paying close attention to this game coming up here. It's Hartwick at SUNY Purchase. Purchase State, the favorite, obviously, in this game, but they can't be caught looking ahead for the simple reason, Jody, who's one of the two teams that beat Purchase this season? Albertus Magnets.
And there you go.
So you don't want to get caught looking ahead to that game possibility tomorrow night.
And here we go, about to start the game. Purchase 15th in the country, 25-2 overall. As we mentioned before, Hartwick 18-9, winners of the Empire 8 Conference by way of beating Nazareth last weekend.
And we have a Hartwick fan already tuning in here at Judy_LC. Hey, thanks for tweeting us. Everybody tweet us. Let us know you're out there at Frank Rossi. That's at Frank Rossi. Tweet us during the game, and we will respond to you somehow, some way if we can.
Frank, if there's any cute girls out there, just find a way to email me. That's it. Just email me. We'll take care of everything else.
Why don't you tweet me, and I'll preview, and, I'll be like those reality shows.
I like that. That's not a bad idea.
Except, who knows, I might steal. Speaking about stealing, defensively, what do we expect to see in this game? Sorry, Jody. Jody's got a little bit of a cold tonight, so I cannot make him laugh anymore. That's the story coming up here.
If you make me laugh, I start coughing.
Yes.
That was terrific.
That's really sexy, too, as you're asking for phone numbers.
Hey, listen, I'm not. When you get past 35, everything counts.
Wait, wait, you're between 35 and 40, we know now.
Yes, 35 and 40. So everything counts at that moment. But, hey, I'm going to be like you. Let's focus off me, and let's focus on Purchase Hartwick basketball.
I like that idea.
There we go.
So what are we going to see defensively here?
Well, we're going to see a tough game. We're going to see both teams get after it. Purchase pretty much play. Well, we'll talk about it in a couple of minutes. Let's listen to the starting lineups.
Kyle Bradley, number 13, as we said. Anthony Keene. So Keene is starting in place of somebody here, actually. I guess Wilson is not starting. So they had split time during the season. So it will be Anthony Keene, senior guard, 6'3", 185 for Hartwick. And now we're going to get pretty loud in here, folks. I'm going to warn you right now. Justin Person announced. David Houghton. Andre Nixon.
Well, and Frank, speaking to Coach Charney before this game, he said if we can win today, I'd like another chance at Alberta, so I think we match up well. He's got that wish, but he's got to get through a tough Hartwick team tonight. And what we just spoke about a little while ago before they did the announcements, you're going to look at Purchase. They're going to do a little matchup zone. Primarily, actually, most of the game they might do matchup zone, but they'll also play a little man-to-man as well. Hartwick's going to look to get after it. We'll see if there are some adjustments to meet the team that they're going to play in a couple of minutes during the tip-off.
Getting ready for that tip-off right now in Purchase, New York. Again, Frank Rossi, Jody King, bringing you the action here. And it will get loud. If you can't hear us too well because of the crowd, we apologize. But, look, there's only so much you can do about sound of a raucous crowd. And it is indeed a raucous one here. Ready for tip.
And for those watching for the first time, Joel Neary, number 33, is 7'2" and can move and is agile at this level.
Perhaps 7'3".
Perhaps.
And the tip is controlled by Purchase. Houghton sending it back to Lobbin. Round now. That's Nixon back. Lobbin to Person for 3. Off the side of the rim. Rebound. Houghton with the offensive board. Back out. Nixon wants to drive. Does so with 3 men on him. He puts it off the glass and in. It's 2-0. Purchase.
And the art of the jump stop doesn't seem to be there, but Nixon gracefully scores the first basket of the game.
Again, we got our scoreboard a little bit backward here.
Purchase in a matchup 2-3. As Hartwick looks to move the ball, trying to figure out how to score against his defense. And subtly looks to take the first shot, but commits a turnover. And here comes Nixon down the court for Purchase as they try and look to extend the lead early in the game. Right inside to Neary, and he gets fouled going up. Great entry pass, and Neary's at the line to shoot 2. Neary for the year, Frank. Neary for the year has gotten to the free throw line quite a bit, shooting only about 60%. See if the big man can make his first one of the night. First one is up and good. Purchase 3-0 lead. And Purchase in the white with the orange and blue New York Knicks colors. By the way, this used to be the old facility that the New York Knicks used to practice in back in the day.
I did not know that.
Back in the day, yes.
You've left that out when we talked about it before.
Well, wait for Purchase to play. Purchase in its matchup zone again. And Hartwick with a basket. Kyle Bradley, 6'4" senior out of Cornwall, New York, with the basket. 3-2, Purchase.
And we're back, or I'm back at least. I think we've got our scoreboard problems rectified as Neary misses that shot. Rebound, sent around. That was Houghton that collected it, but the outside shot missed. Neary is showing that height again. He's a man among boys underneath there. They don't have anybody nearly as tall as him right now on the floor for Hartwick. Houghton puts it up with 2 men in his face and gets it 5-2. Purchase.
And that was a good jump hook by Houghton.
Down the other end, fake the shot, send it around. That's going to be controlled. And shot
right
made.
Shot by Sutterly.
Yep. Down the other end.
2 weeks ago, Purchase lost to St. Joe's College in what was considered a major upset by some. Why did they lose to St. Joe's College? St. Joe's really slowed the game down and made Purchase work. If Hartwick can do the same sort of thing, they might be able to stay in this tonight.
Inside again to Neary, but he'll kick it back out to Person. Driving with 3 men in the lane. He just sends it to Neary. It's dunked home.
And like we said, Joel Neary is not your typical 7'2" at the Division III level. He can actually move and score, ladies and gentlemen. It's a treat to watch him play.
Down the other end. That's Petruccione over.
Now it looks like
Kane.
Purchase is in a 3-2 match.
Lufkin. Around now. Keene driving, but 3 men were in his face, and he over pursued. So coming out with it was Petruccione. Back out for 3. In and out by Sutterly.
He gets it back, though.
To have it knocked away and stolen by Nixon.
And instead of challenging Neary, he passes the ball, but his teammates couldn't handle it.
Nixon leaves it back for Lobbin.
Hartwick in zone as well, playing 3-2 zone.
Person to Nixon for 3, and gets it.
And too slow to get out in the corner. Purchase is able to nail the 3. A quick 10-4 lead, Frank.
Over and out, but not over. Joey Lufkin here, running from the point, but stolen cleanly by Nixon. He's leaving for Lobbin, back to Nixon, but blocked. And a foul against number 13, Kyle Bradley for Hartwick.
Does Hartwick, I know you got the TV timeout coming, but does Hartwick maybe call one to calm his team down a little bit?
TV timeout or media timeout will come at the 16 or under mark, or under 16 mark, actually. Nixon with his free throws, and he makes the first. He shoots 81% from the line. So you definitely want him at that stripe tonight if you can get him there, if you're Purchase.
Absolutely.
Leading now by 7. Hartwick's got to stop the bleeding here. This early run by Purchase is exactly what Coach Charney wanted. Exactly what Hartwick wanted to avoid here. They can score. Let me tell you, they scored over 100 points twice this season, did Hartwick.
They can score, but Purchase's athletes may be a little bit different story for them tonight.
Yep. Lufkin driving, leaving it back. That's Bradley. Back out now to Lufkin. Wants to go into the paint. Kicked it back out. The three is off the side of the backboard by Patricione. But the ball's out of bounds. Neary could not collect it. And it remains Hartwick ball. TV timeout, or media timeout, if I may. And so it is 12-4 in favor of Purchase at our first media timeout.
And it just shows that Coach Hartwick knows much better than Coach King, that's for sure. He gets the media timeout right there, gets to save one for himself. But if I'm in the huddle, they've actually been moving the ball around decently on the offensive end. They just got to hit the shots. Defensively, they really have to figure out how to solve Neary down low, and they have to figure out how to get out in those corners, take away those three-point shots.
Here's some upcoming games this evening in the men's bracket, and we'll run back to see if we can't get you the finals of the earlier games and some that are still ongoing or were at least on our last update.
We're on a new stream, right?
We are on a new stream.
Pat, how are you, Mr. Coleman? David, how are you, gentlemen? Good to see you guys.
Wesley beating Alvernia, see there. You see our final from earlier. Mary Washington was beating Springfield pretty well. Hobart upsets Scranton, I would call that. My friend Terry Small, the NJAC commissioner, actually texted me saying Richard Stockton won their game. And in the last 4 years, Terry and I have been at the same venue, and the NJAC team has always lost. And we were not sure if it was me or Terry that was the jinx for the NJAC. Guess what? It was me.
Well, I personally don't believe that, so they can say whatever they want.
Well, thank you, Jody.
You're welcome. I always got your back.
You always lie on my behalf. Thanks.
Every once in a while.
Love Kid as we get back to action here.
Hartwick is able to move the ball and get in the zone. They just got to figure out where to get the shots from. That's what they're struggling with right now.
Pratt in the game here, and he was trapped on the baseline, so sent it out subtly, back out. And now Sutterly in trouble with 9 on the shot clock. They put it up and in. About a 13, 14-foot shot. Finds its way in there for Sutterly and Hartwick, and it's 12-6.
And when you're a senior averaging over 20.4 points per game, you find ways to score. That's what he just did.
Nixon back out and around.
Hartwick in a traditional 3-2 zone defense.
To Nixon for 3. Yes. He's feeling it tonight, Jody.
I think he's feeling it, or he's hitting his head for some reason as he hits that 3. These kids today, I'll tell you, Frank.
I thought you were a kid still.
I guess you're right.
It's 15-6 in favor of Purchase. And they're going to call a foul against Hartwick here. Or check that against Purchase. I'm sorry, against Purchase.
I hit a 3-point shot, so let me hit my head now. And I never understood these traditions of these young men.
Maybe it is some kind of the old lucky thing he does. Lucky charm for him.
Him and everyone else in the country, right? But here we go.
And for 3, Lufkin answers from the right corner.
And Hartwick hanging around, down 15-9. If they could just come out quicker on his own, they could possibly force Purchase to take tougher shots.
Jake Stevens, the third in here, number 31 for Purchase. And he thought about that 3, but sends it to Neary, who's being triple teamed. Inside now, Person puts it up and in. You draw a triple team to Neary, somebody's got to be wide open.
And what a beautiful move there by Person as he's able to get to the rim.
One thing they'll have to do with Neary maybe is keep him more outside to the blocks so that defense can't collapse on somebody that does come in like Person did there, but he did a great job getting around them. That 3 on the other end, though, by Justin Pratt is the response. And now it's 17-12.
And Hartwick started getting a rhythm and find those holes in that zone to get those shots.
On the other end, shot missed, and Hartwick has a chance here to bring it closer as Lufkin crosses the timeline. Stops and pops the 3 and hits it. It's a 2-point game.
And 3 straight threes. They're finding their rhythm. And oh boy, Lufkin, let it rain.
And it is pouring right now for Hartwick. They're looking for Houghton right now. He's got it. At the free throw stripe, he'll miss everything partially blocked. Well, no, they're going to say it was not. It's just an air ball.
And that's one thing I never understood about some basketball players sometimes. He just took the same shot and missed. So maybe look for a better shot, maybe drive. But now here's the thing. With him driving, Neary's in the lane. So it's very interesting, Neary's presence so far in terms of plus minus for Purchase.
You like the plus minus tonight.
I'm a fan of plus minus.
I'm glad. I brought
Relational
it up
concepts.
So out of bounds will remain Hartwick ball. It's kind of a hockey concept when you think about it.
Absolutely.
So it will be with 12:58 remaining. We're heading to our second media timeout, but between the first and the second media timeout, it's been a different story here. Hartwick has settled down now.
Well, Hartwick just needed to find where they can get the shots from against this matchup zone.
Lufkin feeding it in to Sutterly. He wants to drive, and they're going to call a foul on Neary, and that could be a great equalizer scenario. If he picks up one or two more here, that could really nullify Neary's potency in this game.
And Kyle Bradley's ability to drive and not be worried gets the foul.
So back to action here with Hartwick with the ball. Pratt setting it to Lufkin, over pursuing, but purposely so he could feed it outside. And now the
Bradley
shot
with the
put up.
scoop.
Yep, Bradley with a great job there getting around. And guess what, folks? It's tied, 17 apiece.
A little dipsy-do for two gives us a tie ball game,
I
Frank.
was waiting for it. Joel Neary just turns around. Well, I thought he wouldn't make that shot. That was too hard, but it somehow found a nice roll off the rim to get in.
He's got the kiss.
2-point lead, but they'll steal the ball away to add on to it. Person sends it over to Stevens. He'll pop for three. He'll miss it, but the rebound is a foul against Hartwick on David Naughton's shot.
And Horton has the ability to really, just like Purchase, their bigger team, over the course of the game, they're going to have opportunities because of their ability to offensive rebound. You just saw right then and there. But much like our first game, you look at Albertus and their ability to score in bunches. That's what Purchase has been able to do tonight as well.
It's interesting to watch Albertus Magnus scouting out Purchase right now, or the winner of this game, but especially Purchase. They played them 5.5 weeks ago, Jody, and it's still amazing to me that they put them in the same pod as the first free throw was missed by Houghton.
Houghton, who's shooting 61% for the year. Yes, it is amazing, but look, it's NCAA tournament. You got to play who you're up against.
Would like to see maybe Albertus Magnus appeared against a NESCAC team, because I know they want to play those teams and don't get much opportunity to do so. And Purchase, well, they're happy to host. They didn't care who came to town as long as they hosted, really. But they will face Albertus Magnus if they win tonight. But Hartwick's got a lot to say about that right now, as they only trail by 3 points. And we're inside 12 minutes, which means the next stoppage will be immediate timeout. But Lufkin reclaims the knockaway. With 8 on the shot clock, it's stolen away. Person is fouled by Lufkin in the process, and we will hit our media timeout. So with 11:35 remaining here in the first half of the second game, it is 20-17, Purchase leading Hartwick. Again, folks, Frank Rossi here with Jody King bringing you the action. The doctor with me, and again on Twitter, send us some tweets. Let us know you're out there. At Frank Rossi is the place to send those tweets. Please don't be shy. Well, be shy if it's going to be highly hypercritical, but we're used to that anyways. So, Jody, first timeout zone from 20 down to 16, all Purchase. Next timeout zone between 16 and 12, Hartwick has really made a game of it. Each coach is talking to their team. Give me 10 seconds on what each is saying.
Well, Purchase, just stay the course. Hartwick on the other end, just be patient. Like we said, St. Joe's beat Purchase 2 weeks ago. Okay, Purchase at the time had one loss. How did Purchase lose the game? Because St. Joe's was patient. St. Joe's, the coach of St. Joe's said they played yeshiva basketball. For those that don't know, possession basketball, shot clock basketball. And if you do that against Purchase, you limit possessions, you limit scoring opportunities, gave them a chance to win. If Hartwick could do the same, they're in a good spot.
Back to action. It is Purchase ball. Foul situation is 4 against Hartwick, 2 against Purchase right now. Neary inside has a partial block. Incredible that he blocked it suddenly with the rebound.
And that was a great block by Wilson.
Pratt has the ball, trying to feed it subtly on the free throw stripe, sends it back out to Gavin. And now Laputka has the ball just in the game. 20 on the shot clock, 11 minutes on the game clock in the first half. Subtly to Laputka. He'll take the three. He'll
shot.
make the three. It's a tie game, 20 apiece.
It's a good shot.
Tick the shot clock down. They want to shorten this game, I think, Jody, in some ways, and take 30 out of the 35 seconds off the shot clock if they can do it.
And that's what we've been discussing.
And the ball out of bounds. Houghton could not claim it, and it is now Hartwick ball.
Not so much that Houghton had difficulty claiming it. Neary takes up a lot of space in the paint. So understanding where he is, where you can make your move and be able to catch and be able to play in that area is very important for Purchase, even after 27 games.
Smallest lineup here, but ball still stolen away. Naughton. Houghton is fouled.
But you can see for Purchase, they really like to get out and run, get steals, play in transition, where they don't have to worry about clogging up the paint being clogged up in the half court.
I believe that was on Laputka. Yes, it is. We got our fouls actually reporting on the board on this game. It's his first, team's fifth. Got to stay out of that foul trouble if you're going to pull off an upset here. That's Stevens, who's driving in. Neary claims the errant pass, but the ball's knocked out of bounds. Remains Purchase ball, 25 on the shot clock.
Hartwick questioning that call. Do we have a replay for that, Frank?
We might. I don't think we're going to have it in time. There it is. And live action-wise,
Nixon nails a three in the corner.
and so is now 23-20. Tough to tell from that replay, as you saw, by the way.
And again, Nixon with 3 threes. Hartwick really has to get out and close hard on him.
The hook of the Pratt. Pratt for three to tie this game. No, it's off the front of the rim. Rebound, Nixon. He's crossing the timeline. Under 10 minutes now. Nixon. No foul called there. They say both had their space, and neither one gets the foul. Stevens from the free throw stripe hits it. It's a 5-point lead now for Purchase after a 20-20 tie. It's a quick 5-0 spurt.
And Jake Stevens, a senior transfer who came in mid-year. That's his game, free throw line jump shots. Seems like Jake Stevens has been playing a very long time in college basketball.
Ball stolen. Person this time. It's a one-on-none. In easily. It's 7-point run.
Pearson dunked the basketball, young man. I need excitement. And the finger rolls don't do anything for me. It's the NCAA tournament, Frank.
But you're here for the excitement.
I need a dunk.
You need a dunk.
Young man, dunk the basketball.
We saw one from Neary earlier. How much do you want, my friend?
A lot.
I guess so.
Absolutely.
Gavin back out. Sutterly around to Laputka. Person on him right now. 15 on the shot clock. Sutterly clears the lane. They will say a charge.
Good call there. Hartwick has to be careful right now.
Let's see this in the lane area. It will be. Yeah, he moved backward. He had his feet set. That is the correct call.
Good call.
His feet set. You can move backwards or sideways. As we said in game one, that's the rule. People don't think you can move backward, but you can.
Coach McGinnis really rotting the referees right now, but that was the actual right call.
Now it's Person. Inside to Neary now. He'll pop it back out. Stevens from just outside the stripe area. But for a long two.
And we said that's his game, that dribble in the middle, pull-up jump shot. That's Jake Stevens.
29-20. It's a 9-0 run now. Laputka wants to answer with a three. It's good. He's hit 2 of them during this little span since the timeout.
And these threes have really kept Hartwick in the game.
Stevens, he wants to drive. Laputka on him. He'll have to kick it back out. Person with the ball now. Over to Stevens. He'll reset with 25 on the shot clock, or maybe not. They'll go inside. Neary trying the double team outside. Lobbin hits. No, I thought he had that easily, but it hits off the back of the rim. Laputka stops. He wanted to pop.
Way to attack.
And he is fouled by Lobbin.
Great job to set Lobbin up on that dribble and then push him to the rim on that to get the foul.
We have Coach Nolan Adams send us a quasi tweet to let us know he's out there. We appreciate
Coach
that.
Adams, my good man from BMCC, Borough Manhattan Community College. He's a good man, Frank.
If you know him, he's got to be. That's the way it works. Double team here and a foul. Bradley kind of got bailed out. He jumped in no man's land there and sort of drew contact. I guess that was his concept there. We are at another media timeout. And it is 6 fouls to 3. Let's actually get the reset of the scoreboard up there for people to see. 7:55 left, 29-23 in favor of the homestanding Purchase
I have
Panthers.
a picture of Nolan Adams we could put up here as well so everyone can see actually Nolan Adams is, but I don't think he would appreciate that.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, I don't think he would appreciate that. We were out to dinner one night, and I got a picture of him eating. It's just not appropriate.
By the way, that is the second foul on Laban, as they just put it up there, as you saw in real time there. Let's go back out to live floor action here.
And actually, Brandon Solaro was coming in the game before this media timeout for Laban.
So these teams facing each other right now in the late game. Tomorrow they're going to have to turn around and have a shoot around in the afternoon time. Jody, take us through from what you've talked about coaches in these situations with these 2-game weekends like this. How do they manage this? I mean, Albertus Magnus obviously 2 hours earlier finishes their game. And when you have such a short span, it matters.
Well, I'll give you this, for example. Last week in the regional tournament, we're at Hostos Community College. We played a 1 o'clock game Friday afternoon. We had to turn around and play 7 o'clock Saturday night against the Sullivan Generals. That was a 30-hour window, and what do? So we had to really figure out each minute what we would do as a team, and we actually had to go find a gym in Long Island, and we went to go work out at a gym in Long Island during the day on Saturday. For these teams here, the turnaround is 7 o'clock. So again, it's a quick turnaround because they're playing a night game, but they must keep their teams occupied and focused. And again, Hartwick at the free throw line, missing the first of 2 as the second goes up.
Bradley is a 67.5% free throw shooter and misses both. Houghton with that rebound. He'll leave it back for Stevens, who crossed the timeline. Now around to Nixon. Nixon's hit a couple threes in this game. He'll send it over. Solaro kicked it back out. Solaro is inside the arc for a 17-foot shot and a 31-23 lead for Purchase.
And that's a good shot by Brandon Solaro. If he looks familiar to some, that's because he's a junior college transfer from Suffolk Community College.
Ball knocked out of bounds. It will remain Hartwick ball. 31-23, 7:24 remaining here in the first half. A little bit higher pace in scoring than we saw in our first game, I would say, right now.
Absolutely.
Laputka wanted to take that three. But Houghton got in his face quickly. So on the other end, it's Gavin, 4-3, off the side of the rim, left is short there, and it's rebounded by Houghton. Stevens stops, pops, 4-3, off the side of the rim, rebound. It's controlled by Hartwick and Gavin. Going down the other end, it's a 1-on-2 right now. He splits
What a move!
Puts it up, but forgot to put it in. Rebound, though, and Bradley misses. Purchase with Houghton getting the rebound, has the ball back. Nixon, he'll take the three. He'll make the three. Up by 11.
That's his 4-3.
11-point lead for the homestanding Purchase Panthers. Easy for me to say. Sutterly over to Lufkin. Nixon's on him, inside. And Sutterly with a nice basket off the glass.
Strong move, way to stop the run.
But on the other end, Stevens out of control, left it for Sutterly. Solaro. Back out round, Houghton outside the paint, makes it. And it's an 11-point game again.
Great move by Houghton. And again, the paint open with Neary on the bench. Houghton is able to work.
Under 6 minutes, Laputka with the ball. Sutterly has it knocked away and taken down by Stevens. It's a 1-on-1 as Laputka got back, but he will put it in nonetheless. Timeout, Hartwick. They trail by 13.
What a great job. Every time they throw that pass to a big, when they go the 1-4 set, Purchase gets steals and they're able to finish at the rim. Jake Stevens with the basket.
There's a replay of that shot, and we're back to live action here, which is a timeout. Let's take a look at some scores out of town, Jody, while we have a brief break here. And our game's still ongoing. We had some start a little later because of time zone differences at halftime. Right now, let's see, we've got finals. Let's go over the finals. Whitworth wins against Trinity, 75-73. We have Mary Washington, 78, Springfield, 58. That was the favorite winning there, too. Augustana, 88, beating number 18, St. Thomas. The team that won the national championship a few years back.
Yep.
They are out in the first round, St. Thomas is. Do some more finals later. In the meantime, we have a foul against Solaro, his first, team's 5th. That's against Purchase. So Lufkin sent it back in to Bradley and around now to Petruccione. And kind of no man's land, it was Keene, but he did get a good move there as he didn't know what to do with it originally, but remember, he still had his dribble and used it.
Excellent move by Keene. Can Hartwick get a couple stops?
Nixon for another 3. No, not this time.
He was feeling it.
Yes, he was, but rebound by Bradley. Down the other end, Keene. Home crowd wanted a call there, did not get it. Driving in, Lufkin couldn't get it to go fall in, and Person with the rebound. Down the other end, it's going to be Stevens with a high arcer missing. Little out of control on both ends here right now. Hartwick trailing by 11. It's Sutterly for 3. Not his shot, really. But they will stay with a foul against Purchase. And Solaro picks up 2 quick fouls there, I believe. Or maybe not.
Nope, going the other way.
Going the other way, I'm sorry. He originally said staying here, and then they changed his mind on how it was being called.
Correct.
It's against number 11, Petruccione for Hartwick, and that is a 1-on-1 situation. Solaro will shoot. A little surprised by how that transpired there.
Well, Solaro for the year, only 20 attempts for the year, shooting 55%.
And he hits the first.
And sometimes numbers don't mean that much.
Numbers never lie.
They never lie.
Here comes your second free throw. And it is short, as somebody called out in the lane, it sounded like. Down the other end, it is Lufkin. Back to Sutterly. They trail by 12 right now, but trailed by 13 when they took their timeout. To Lufkin. Lufkin's calling his offense. He'll be fouled for a 3. Stevens called for the foul.
I don't know really why Jake Stevens was arguing that call. It was a clear foul. Just really need to contest that shot. It would be tough enough for Lufkin to hit it. Now you put him at the free throw line.
Here's that call.
I don't know why you're really going to contest that call, but hey, perception's an amazing thing, right?
It's half of everything.
It's half of everything.
They're having some microphone issues right now. You hear a little clicking noise up top, and I thought it was us for originally. It's actually the PA. Referees want that turned off as it can be distracting.
With a Frank Rossi production, there is never any error on our end. Let's make that clear.
I can't lie that large. First free throw by Lufkin, no good.
And Lufkin's inability to make that layup a couple possessions ago. Missed free throw now. Laputka misses the layup as well before that.
And they only called for 2. You know what, Joey? I thought I did see his foot on the line, and they corrected it.
It was a 2.
And made it a 2-point call, or 2 free throw call. So,
but those are 5 points Hartwick's not getting back.
Yep, exactly. So 39-28 now. We're just about at that 4-minute mark when another timeout would occur. Neary with 2 men on him, fouled, and count it. Here's the replay.
He just does enough to get the ball on the rim. And you see Hartwick, when he touches the ball, Hartwick's running 2 or 3 guys at him. But Neary's good enough to do enough and get the basket.
Neary to make it a 3-point play and give his team the largest lead of the game, which would be 14. It's up and no good, so we're stuck at the largest lead, a match of that.
It's amazing when you talk about Neary, you talk about some of his matchups against A.J. Matthews from Farmingdale, and he really held his own. A.J. Matthews, who had a tryout with the New York Knicks earlier this year.
Is he still D-League or?
I think he is. I'm not sure, but I think he is.
Ball blocked by Purchase, and we are under 4, timeout. With 3:48 remaining in the first half. The homestanding Purchase Panthers have a 41-28 lead.
And Brandon Solaro comes off the bench. Not a stranger, big-time basketball, playing NJCAA Region 15 basketball for Suffolk Community College, a very good program. Comes in with a little bit of a moxie, as you could say. and comes in, hits a shot, and then makes a block shot on this end. Great job by him. Again, Hartwick is hanging around. If they could just put a couple of runs together, they might still have a chance.
Other finals, we stopped at St. Thomas earlier. Scranton upset by Hobart, 94-81. Richard Stockton did beat Bowdoin. Richard Stockton was the favorite, 72-66. Calvin, in a very good matchup, at least by rankings, beats number 23 Wittenberg. Number 24 Calvin did that, 66-51. St. Olaf, which was ranked, lost to unranked Central, 85-72. Husson loses to Eastern Connecticut, 81-75. Dickinson beats Geneseo State, 83-76. Rose-Hulman loses to Wheaton, Illinois, 64-57. And Gordon beats Babson, 76-68. They all advance to tomorrow night's second-round games. There will be 16 games tomorrow night, and that will whittle us down to 16 teams for next Friday's sectionals.
And congratulations to all the winners as they advance and move on.
Back to live action here. It is going to be an out-of-bounds with 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock for Hartwick.
15 on the shot clock. Let's see if Hartwick can get a good shot.
Lufkin with the ball.
As now Purchase again still matching up.
Took the three, in and out, but great rebound underneath there by Keene.
Great job by Keene to get position on the putback against the big man.
11-point game, 41-30. Where do they have to get this thing to have some positive thoughts in halftime, do you think, as Neary puts it up and in for a 13-point lead?
Well, you got to be able to contest that shot, make it a little bit more difficult for Neary to get that basket so close to the rim. But really, Frank, at this point, stay within shooting distance, which they are.
Pratt misses his three. Rebound by Person.
Got to be careful, though. Can't let this get out of hand, though.
Stevens wanted to run through the lane, but he was blocked by Keene. We're under 3 minutes in the first half. Neary back outside. Stevens want to take the three. No. He will leave it for Neary instead, who is stripped out of bounds.
But you got to be impressed with the big man, Frank. His ability to pass the ball out of the post. We don't get to see that too often.
So with a 13-point deficit here, Hartwick with the ball back, under 3 minutes.
Can Hartwick nail another three?
Keene from the right corner right now. He's having trouble finding somebody. He beats the 5-second call, though. Sutterly. And a shot missed. Rebound is, I believe, blocked, but contact drawn. No call as Nixon goes the other way, and it's out of bounds. Boy, the refs are letting them play, Jody.
Hey, game 28, 29, game 30 for some teams. Let's let them play. Let's get after it.
This is from just a moment ago. And you can see the body check there, but no call. Neary will kick it out to Nixon. Back to Neary. Stevens, 4-3 from the top of the arc. No. Rebound by Sutterly. Going down the other end. It's Lufkin. Through the three-point line to the free throw stripe. He'll miss it. Rebound in doubt. Houghton able to save it. Stevens now crossing the timeline. He wants to shoot again, but no. 28 on the shot clock and 2 minutes on the game clock in this first half.
Purchased by 13. Again, a dangerous spot for Hartwick.
Person with a 13-point lead for his team sends it to Neary. Off the glass too hard. Rebound, Laputka. He wants to drive. Stevens got his way initially. He'll kick it outside. Lufkin wanted to take the three, but thought the better of it from the left corner. Drives inside instead, and it's out of bounds and becomes purchase ball. Why do you lazily sit there and let the ball go out of bounds and make the referee decide it?
I also don't understand these scoop shots. Go up strong. Don't fade away from the basket. Maybe you're at the free throw line.
With the circle these days, no charges can occur if you're deep enough under, so you might as well. Houghton held. I think they got Sutterly on this one. Let's see.
Well, see, if you're going to call that, you got to call the one down here.
I agree with you. 9th team foul and second against Sutterly. Minute 26 left. 13-point lead for Purchase. Looking to expand it here with a two-shot foul situation for Houghton, who shoots 61% basically in the season from the stripe. First is up and no good.
And this game, Frank, has stayed at 43-30 for the last 4 minutes of change.
Over 125 folks have been joining us in this game, at least at once, and we appreciate that. Second free throw coming up here. It is up and good. 44-30, largest lead of the game is now 14 points for Purchase. Lapuka and Lufkin want to change that, as do the other three men in blue on this floor.
And these two guards can't be scared. They got to be able to attack and attack strong.
Keene over to Bradley. Bradley had a little trouble, puts it up, almost got a three-point chance.
And with Hartwick's bigs, their big men have been able to drive. Good things have been happening. But it's got to start and end with their two guards, Lufkin and Lapuka. If those two can dominate, get in the paint and dish, they're going to stay in this game. And then if their ability to hit the outside shot, it's only going to help.
7th team foul against Purchase, and that was against Nixon, his first. First free throw is good. There they go. They put it up on the board finally. Second free throw good. 12-point game. Minute 7 left here. Purchase wants to keep this in double figures when they head to halftime, but let's see what happens as the press is broken. Stevens wants to drive, comes back out with it. Person over to Nixon. Under 1 minute now in the first half. Nixon with 2 men on him, draws a foul, almost gets a three-point opportunity, but he'll get 2 free throws instead.
I think Nixon went to the bookstore, then he went to the clothing store, then he went to the music store, came back and tried to get a shot off. Luckily, he was fouled. He had a lot in the arsenal there, Frank.
81% free throw shooter is Nixon. His first is up and good. It's back to 13 points. And Nixon's second free throw. It's up. It's good. Timeout by Purchase. I believe it's their use it or lose it timeout, so they might as well use it and set their defense. 54.7 seconds remaining here. And that's the first half. 14-point game right now.
Frank, we don't have a band in this game.
No band.
Can we borrow the WPI band? Where did they go?
I think home.
They went home. Could we have just hired them for this game?
How about some crowd action?
Great crowd tonight. Great crowd. Way to support NCAA Division III college basketball.
And you are watching the NCAA Division III men's basketball tournament first round action. We got some people saying hi to the folks at home. And back to action.
And here we go. Hartwick picking up man-to-man. Purchase picking up man-to-man.
Differential on the clocks is about, I'd say, 19 seconds. Ball knocked away. Stays Hartwick ball.
Which confuses Hartwick. That Purchase is now a man-to-man.
Actually, it's 19.5 seconds now, officially differential. Lapuka with 20 on the shot clock. He wants to drive. Then thinks the better of it, but speeds it inside suddenly with the basket.
And there you go. His ability to get in the paint and feed to the big man, like we said, is keeping them in this game down 12.
Down the other end, the shot clock is off, so Purchase can hold for the last shot. Stevens with 20 on the game clock. Down to 17. Nixon. Stevens around to Person. It's going to be Stevens with 7 seconds. He'll put up the shot. No good. There's 2 seconds left. And 4-3, it would count if it goes. It does not. Lufkin couldn't get it to fall. And we go in with a 12-point differential. Purchase 46, Hartwick 34 in this first round action.
And Purchase has had a great first half, led by Andre Nixon, his ability to hit the outside jump shot and make his multiple threes. Coupled with Andre Nixon, Joel Neary on the inside has been able to dominate the paint and really be able to score at will when he touches the ball. It's just a matter of can he put it in the rim consistently, put it in the goal consistently. And then Person's been able to get out on the fast break and finish. And if you combine that with Jake Stevens III, who's been able to run the team pretty well, they've been off to a great start in the first half. Hartwick on the other end, again, they've been able to stay in the game because Sutherly's going to do what Sutherly does. He's a senior player, scoring over 20 points a game. Keene has been able to help as well. But really, it comes down to Lufkin and Lapuka. If these two guys can get going in second half, and when they get to the rim, be able to finish, they're going to keep Hartwick in the game. But they have to do it, or else it could be a long night for the Hartwick Hawks.
Agreed fully. We're going to see if we may get a little coach interview from Coach Oliver, perhaps, during a halftime. But first, we're going to take about a 7-8 minute break before we get to that point. So you're watching NCAA.com action here. It's first round at the Purchase Pod. And stay tuned. We'll be back here. Don't move a muscle. When we're there. Hey, folks, we're back, and I will clear out the scores here for a second as Coach Mitch Oliver from Albertus Magnus is joining me. And, Coach, congratulations, 68-66, officially the final score after that very late three. You guys seem to be in control in the last minute of the game, however, against WPI. First, that WPI team did not want to go away, and there were a couple times where things looked a little tenuous for your team, a lot of frustration midway through the first and partially the second half. How did you get your team to settle back down in that game? Make sure the world can hear you there. There you go.
Well, WPI, that's what they do. They're a tremendous team defensively, and they try to take you out of your rhythm and try to stand you up, and they're very physical, and they do a great job of that. So it was kind of like I just called a timeout, told my guys to relax, and we had to get more stops. It was more about the defensive end, because if we got stops and rebounded, we were able to run and get in the flow, because on our end, we're very tough to guard when we're going in transition. So, I always tell the guys, and every coach does, it's a game of runs. We have our run, they have their run. And this game was a seesaw battle, and we just so happened to finish with a good run, and that's why we pulled it out.
If I had told you that the game would be in the 60s tonight, who would you have told me would won the game probably?
Well, I think I said this the other day. Obviously, someone asked me, would you rather have the game, would you prefer the game in the 90s or prefer the game in the 60s? I said, I just prefer to win. So I don't care if it's in the 60s or 90s, but I knew it was a coin flip to go either way. It was going to be either force the tempo one way with our style or their style, but we can play either way, and they can as well. Some teams will play us, and they'll welcome a team that maybe slows down will welcome running, because WPI has great shooters and kids that can handle and run, so it's not like they can't run. So I just think it was a battle of two great teams, and we just happened to hit some big shots and get some big shots at the end. It could have went either way.
Free throws, not the best stat for you guys tonight.
No.
How do you rectify that situation overnight, though? You're playing one of these two teams, obviously. Drills, or what do you do? Or do you just kind of say, guys, you know how to make your free throws, concentrate better?
You shoot free throws every day, and you talk about them every day. It's mental. It's mental toughness. I mean, every kid can make a free throw. So it's just something that, we got to keep talking about. And if we're getting to the line, then we're doing well. So we hit the ones that we needed. Darius hit the last couple, that kind of widened that gap at the end. But obviously we shot ourselves in the foot a couple times. And what I think is more important is rebounding on the free throw. We gave a couple key rebounds up. Offensive rebounds to WPI on their misses, and those could be daggers. So, again, we have a ton of respect for WPI and Chris Bartley. They do an unbelievable job defensively, and it was just a great game.
Took a heck of a risk putting Jennings back in with 4 fouls and Ian Davis with 4 fouls. Davis a little bit later, about 6.5 minutes left. What made you go so early back to, especially Davis at that point?
Well, I trust him. And you know what? If he fouls out, he fouls out. What are you going to do? But you want to have your horses on the court. And I don't want to be one of these guys that is automatic to sit a guy with 2 fouls in the first half, which I usually do. And I played him with 2 fouls with the last minute and a half, and he got a loose ball foul at the end, and things happen. But if we're going to go down, we're going to go down with our horses on the court. So the kids are smart enough, and I want to play them. I want to give them an opportunity. I don't want to sit a kid on the bench.
Again, head coach Mitch Oliver from Albertus Magnus joining me. Purchase leading in this game.
Yes.
You played them 5.5 or 6 weeks ago. Were you disappointed that you were put back in the same pod? And either way,
right.
Tell me about this team. I mean, what are you watching for tonight? Obviously, you're watching Hartwick too. But what are you watching, especially with this Purchase team?
Well, I know we've played Purchase. We've watched a ton of film on them. We've watched a ton of film on both teams. So we already got a good feel for their personnel and how they play. And obviously, we played SUNY Purchase. But we're just trying to get some tendencies right now. Maybe pick up a couple calls here or there. We're going to be prepared for either team. Purchase is tremendous. They can push the ball. They got Joel Nuri inside. I mean, the guy's 7'3". What more do you say? But I wouldn't count Hartwick out right now. They're tough inside. The two lefty kids are tremendous inside and can bury threes. And Hartwick's the type of team that can go on a run and make up a 10, 12 point deficit in a heartbeat. So we're preparing for both teams.
30-second answer. You got a team in Albertus Magnus that in 2006, 2007, if I read correctly today, had 2 wins to its credit. Now you're a perpetual 20-win team. How did you turn this team around to that degree?
A lot of hard work. It's all about the players. Players make it look like a good coach. So I got out on the road and I used my contacts that I built strong relationships with when I was in assistant Division I and tried to get as many talented players in the program as possible. I started with the local New Haven area first. I wanted to get Ray Askew, the homegrown kid, and he's kind of turned into Mr. Albertus, they call him now, when he comes back in my locker room. So he kind of got us going. He was like our Chris Smith, like I have UConn. And now we've just kind of branched out to my New York and Jersey contacts.
What do they call Byron Reeves? What's his nickname?
He's got a million nicknames. I mean, he's the man on campus. He was a great student. He's getting his master's degree from University of Bridgeport now. So, he's got a great personality, and he's got a ton of nicknames. But right now, I guess it's Big Shot Reeves.
Yeah, 4 years ago, he was nicknamed Hero, basically, for your team.
Exactly.
In the first round against William Patterson. And he's here as an assistant coach tonight. You're here as a head coach, scouting team. So I will let you get back to work here. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
We will see you tomorrow night.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have Jody King coming back in here in a moment. But again, here's your score at halftime, 46-34. Purchase leading. As we reset here, I want you to remember to watch tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, and it will be another stream. Again, go back to NCAA.com scoreboard and link to it, or any of the websites that normally carry the links. And we are in the second half. Back to action. Ball controlled by Hartwick. Jody King will be rejoining me in a moment here. In the meantime, is going to be Lufkin setting it over to Keene. Now over to Sutterly. Shot is partially blocked and taken by Houghton. Down the other way. Lobbin. Over. Lobbin has it again. 23 in the shot clock. Jody, great talking to Coach Oliver there. And just, I'll tell you, as we watch, Houghton missed the alley-oop attempt. And going down the other end here, I'll continue Lufkin kicking it out. Keene 4-3 off the side of the rim. Rebound taken by Lobbin, who has 2 fouls, don't forget. Inside, Neary can't quite get to it. We'll go back the other way. Patricione.
And Frank Hartwick has had a couple chances to cut this lead. Here's another chance.
Keene drew a little contact with Neary, not enough for a foul. He handed it off to Bradley with the three-point play opportunity.
And Frank, like we spoke, these Hartwick big men are going to do their job, and that's what they've continued to do to start the second half.
So it is going to be one free throw coming up here by Bradley, down to a 10-point game. Yeah, we didn't get our stat sheet at halftime, Jody, so I'm going to try to
improvise.
Yes. Players had points. It was impressive. No, just kidding.
Players have points and some have fouls. But we love this game.
Yes, you're killing me tonight. You
if
really
only
are.
the viewers could see what you and I could see.
Nixon. He thought about that three, but instead passes it over.
Hartwick's done a good job closing out on Nixon.
And we're calling up live stats right now. We will get you something, that at least not halftime stats, but that was Houghton missing another inside shot, but getting his own rebound and putting it in.
And there we go, a couple of chances for Purchase to get offensive rebounds and putbacks. Hartwick really needs to box out.
Bradley has 9 points. He leads Hartwick scoring. Here's Lufkin for three. He hits it, and that makes it 10 points for Lufkin. He now leads.
And what do you know, an 8-point game. And like we said, if Lufkin hits the three and say with Lapuka, they're going to stay in this game, Frank.
On the other end, by the way, Nixon has 18 points. The 4 of them are 4 threes, so 12 of those points are threes. He misses that three, making me look like a genius for mentioning it right now, down the other end.
And here we go, Hartwick trying to push.
Lufkin, lazily, very lazy there. He could have saved that easily.
Frank, the unforced turnover, you can't have that when you're trying to make a run.
8-point game. Purchase looking to take it back to double digits, though. Neary Wants a turn, put it up, and it rolls. Oh, no, it's defensive interference. Defensive interference counts anyway. Thought I saw an offensive hand trying to rebound there.
He is very agile for his size, and he's able to he's got a nice touch as well and able to make those baskets close to the rim.
10-point game. Again, tweet to us if you want to talk to us. It's at Frank Rossi. That's FrankRossi, Frank Rossi. And Sutterly, almost with a three-point play opportunity himself there. Chance to bring it back to 8, though.
And Sutterly, again, going right at the big man, getting a foul.
Sutterly leads his team with 20 points per game. He is an 86% free throw shooter this season, 127 out of 147 for tonight. First free throw, up and good.
And most importantly, he's a senior. And he's going to fight and fight and fight tonight, and that's what you're seeing.
I believe the only senior starter for that team, is he not?
Yep.
Hartwick with 9 losses on the season, Purchase with 2, but they both won their conference tournaments, and therefore here, the Empire 8 for Hartwick. The Skyline for Purchase, Linda Bruno in attendance, the commissioner from the Skyline, saw her earlier, also an NCAA rep and committee member. And inside, Houghton is not having much success inside there. He's 1 out of his last 4 shots deep underneath. Lufkin again almost errantly sends it out of bounds. He's got to control himself here as he's got an 8-point deficit with his team. Sutterly inside 4-2. It's back to 6.
And we got a 6-point game, ladies and gentlemen.
Coach Charney probably waiting for that under 16 timeout to talk to his team.
Well, he really needs to get a point guard in the game.
Houghton back to Nixon. Around, Person wants to drive to Houghton inside. This time he gets it. 4 points for the half. 8-point lead for Purchase. Lufkin. Gavin right now at the top of the arc. He'll send it over to Bradley. Bradley wants to drive, kicks it out, back around. Sutterly, it's very gentle foul there. Neary slapped with it.
But it was a foul, Frank.
Here's a replay of it.
Absolutely.
Not there. You know what? They got him in the second one, basically.
And that's his 3rd foul.
But it's a non-shooting foul. 3 fouls against Purchase, none against Hartwick so far in this half. That could be a great equalizer, Jody. As Lufkin shoots a 3, miss off the side of the rim, rebound by Houghton. Down the other end now. It's going to be Stevens. Person is Stevens again. To Lobbin. Misses off the back of the rim. Sutterly saves it back to Lufkin. And actually, Gavin controls it eventually. Lufkin knocked away. Nixon. It's going to be a 1-on-1. He hits off his foot, though. Tries to save it. Whose ball? Lobbin's ball. He'll feed it inside, but it's stolen back.
How is that not a kick ball?
No idea.
How is that not a kick ball? Hartwick's lucky they get the ball back, but that should have been a kick ball. Missed call by the striped gentleman.
And you've been pretty calm with them tonight, I will say, so I will give you that one. The ball knocked away, though. Lobbin knocks the ball away and takes it down the other end for a Purchase. He'll leave it for Stevens around to Nixon inside. Person wants to drive, puts it up over 2 men, misses it. Sutterly with the rebound.
And a Person just dunks the ball. It's a basket.
Getting very sloppy here, both teams.
That finger roll is not effective.
The under 16 timeout can't come soon enough. However, we're a minute 20 late with it. Lufkin for 3. Miss Sutterly. We have a jump ball.
It's going to
Possession arrow will be Purchase, and we will have our media timeout.
And right then, if Lufkin hits that 3 like we spoke about, him and Leputka could be the 2 equalizers, but he misses the 3.
Let's take a look at the scoreboard. That tells you a lot right now. With 14:35 remaining here in the second half. 52 for Purchase, 44 for Hartwick, but 3 fouls against Purchase, none against Hartwick, 4 timeouts apiece. Crowd a little calmer than they were in the Skyline Championship.
Frank, I'm telling you, that band, I mean, oh my, just if we could get that band back, I might get up and start tooting my own horn.
Please don't.
No, I shouldn't?
No, please. We don't have insurance for that.
Yeah, no.
Here at Purchase.
I'll sign a waiver.
Well, tell Bobby that.
All right. Great crowd tonight, though. Great crowd supporting Purchase basketball. the NCAA and Hartwick.
But I think you and I were both very impressed with Albertus Magnus's crowd, especially tonight.
Absolutely. Well, I go way back with Albertus and just being in the GNAC with Southern Vermont and Ryan Marks back in the day. And Albertus's tradition over the years has always been impressive.
So I was going to ask you earlier, the action got a little intensified. Coach Oliver, you kind of want to play for that guy. Just talking to him, he's not over the top in terms of emotion, but you can tell he just has this feel of knowing what he's doing. And you can learn a lot from him. I can tell his players will tell you the same thing.
It's what you can't see what goes on in practice. That leads into on the court in the games here, and obviously, great coach has his team in the second round.
We're back to action. It's Purchase's ball, up by 8 points, 52-44. Person back out to Lobbin. Albertus Magnus will play 7 o'clock tomorrow night against the winner of this game, and Houghton says it may be us, folks, because I will hit 2 and maybe 3 points right here.
Well, putting Jake Stevens the third in the game enables Purchase to get good ball movement, and Stevens finds Houghton for the basket. And again, with Neary out, it puts Houghton in a better working position to score.
That is the third foul against Kyle Bradley. The free throw is no good, so we're still at a 10-point game here. Laputka in for Hartwick, and will cross the timeline. He wants to clear out to the right side. A couple screens set for him, stationary. Gavin down low. That's Bradley with those 3 fouls. Kicks it back out. Gavin for 3. Off the back of the rim. Rebound in doubt. It's in Lobbin's hands.
And Hartwick wants to cut the lead to 6. It's now back up to 10. They need to be careful.
Top the arc for Steven. He'll feed it inside. Houghton fouled from behind. And admitting to it immediately was Anthony Keene.
And Houghton's having a great game today, ladies and gentlemen. During the year, Mr. Houghton, averages 8.9 points per game. But it's the 11 rebounds per game that's impressive. Also the 36 blocks and 29 steals. An active participant who's shooting 49% from the field. As you see, makes the first one to go up 11.
First free throw, as you said, good. It's the second foul against Keene. Second on the team in this half. Second free throw coming up. It's up and good. Back to a 12-point game. Biggest lead of the game was 15. We've seen it shrink to 6 at one point.
And Houghton, again, another junior college transfer from Sullivan Community College.
You know of that school.
Absolutely.
You are the head coach of Hostos Community College.
Let's go Caymans.
And they did for a while this season, as Sutterly is fouled, and we get 2 free throws, leading scorer of his team on most nights, or at least on average. Let's see. Let's take a quick peek here at his scoring. He is the leading scorer tonight with 12 points and these 2 free throws coming up.
And you look at the Purchase roster, 7 of their players on the roster are junior college transfers.
First free throw misses off the back of the rim. 86.4% free throw shooter. You got to hit both of these. Second, missed. Wow.
Lobin with the big rebound.
Down the other end, foul called, and a lot of whistles suddenly coming up here. We've had 3 fouls. Is it officially now? No, 4 fouls since that under 16 timeout, which occurred with about 14:30 left. So in the minute 10, we've seen 4 fouls in this game between the teams. This is Person shooting the free throws. His first is good. He is a 66% free throw shooter on the season.
Purchase on a 7-0 run, looking to make it an 8-0 run when the game was once 50-44. Now 58-44.
14-point game. Largest lead, as I said, was 15. The winner versus Albertus Magnus tomorrow. If it's against Purchase, it's a rematch.
And Frank, you gotta give Purchase credit. They faced a tough run by Hartwick, and they came back with a run of their own.
We're getting to that point in the game where if Hartwick's going to win this game, they're going to have to put together a mini run again here to start taking a little momentum away from Purchase. 18 on the shot clock. Lufkin, top the arc, moved over to the side, and he is fouled. Is Sutterly, and
Sutterly took a knock.
Yeah. See the replay. Oh, yeah, he did.
He took a knock.
One more time, you'll see it here. Isolated. A little bit of contact there. We'll get back to action. Lufkin sends it over. That's Pratt. Back to Lufkin. 25 on the shot clock as it restarted on the foul. That was Stevens who was slapped with that foul. Lapuka to Sutterly. Being double teamed here. Drops down, puts off the glass and in. Sutterly makes up for those 2 missed free throws with that basket. 14 points on the night.
Great move, but look how quick Purchase gets the ball down the court.
Stevens over to Nixon. And back around now. Person inside. Houghton to Person. 4-3 from the left side. Good. 15-point lead. Matches the biggest of the night.
Big shot there by Person.
Lapuka over to Pratt. Now to Lufkin. Kickball. Technically should have stopped action on that kick again, Jody. I'm not sure what their problem with kickballs are tonight.
Not sure.
Here is Sutterly. Ball stolen away. Good strip by Stevens. And it's left for Lobin to slam home.
15-point game, 17-point game. Do we get a timeout? We're going to wait for a media timeout. We're going to wait for the media timeout, but 17-point game. Coach McGinnis has to be careful.
Here's Lufkin. 20 on the shot clock. And another steal. Pratt cannot handle that ball well there again. Stevens wanted to drive. Still thinking about doing so. Kicks it out. Nixon for 3 off the side of the rim. Lobin had it for a moment but loses it. Sutterly with the rebound. Now Laputka slicing by players. Putting it up. Finger roll goes in. Nifty little moves there. 15-point game.
Good move, but still Purchase on a 13-4 run right now.
Next stoppage will be that under 12 timeout. Person thought about shooting. Thought the better of it probably there. Coach Charney also right behind him probably saying don't do it.
Absolutely.
Nixon, 12 on the shot clock, down to 10 now. He's going to drive, stop, put it up, and in. 17-point game again.
Great move.
Gavin just couldn't surround him enough. Lufkin over to Lapuka, now to Pratt. And it will be Sutterly to Lufkin. And that 3 taken by Gavin, missed. Houghton with the rebound. Yes, he does corral it eventually there. And Stevens crossing the timeline. He will drive. He is fouled. No shot on the floor. We are at our under 12-minute timeout. With 10:20 remaining here in the second half. Purchase 65, Hartwick 48. 5 fouls against Purchase, 3 fouls against Hartwick, and each team with 4 timeouts remaining. That's your reset.
And it shows how good a 25-2 basketball team is. They're met with a run by Hartwick to cut the game to 6, and they push the game right back up to 17 with a blink of an eye. That's a 25-2 basketball team who's ranked 15th in the country, Frank.
That is a good point there, Jody. And we're just trying to get you some of the out-of-town scores to roll up. Just getting them fresh right now so that we get you the most recent information. Again, join us tomorrow night, 6:55 pregame and 7 o'clock tip-off.
Frank, if they tune in at 6:54, they'll be able to hear my cooking lessons of tilapia.
And that's why we're going on at 6:55. Tilapia? That's kind of fishy.
Yeah, not for me, though. I mean, hey, I just...
Let's roll some scores for you real quick. As we look at these scoreboards, the scoreboard out of town. Some games still haven't started yet across the nation as the time zones differ. One more of those in a little bit for you. Let's get back to action. And Nixon with the ball. Back around, Stevens with it. And across court, almost stolen away. Finally controlled by Person. Stevens with 20 on the shot clock, 10 minutes on the game clock. Will lose it out of bounds. Stays Purchase ball, 17 on the shot clock.
Keep possession here for Hartwick. If they can get a stop, they can possibly start to chip away. But Purchase has been tough this entire second half, especially on this run.
Absolutely right. Back out to Stevens. It's 15 on the shot clock. We're under 10 minutes now officially.
Hartwick really extending their zone.
10 seconds. 3 men are outside there, and it is stolen away. That is Geiser. Outside. 3-pointer by Petruccione is good, and it's a 14-point game.
Big three. Remember in the first half, they hit 4 in a row. Let's see if they can match that. They actually hit 3 in a row, then a couple possessions later hit another one.
Nice pass down to Person, but they'll kick it back out to Stevens, around to Nixon, who had ball handling trouble himself. Lobbin. Back around now. Nixon. Stevens with 16 on the shot clock. Pops back out. His foot was on the line. Misses anyway. And the rebound here by Bradley. He's got 3 fouls, don't forget. And kick back out. Lufkin thought about the shot. Now running to the top of the point. Over to Bradley. Bradley with lobbing on him. Tries to put it up and under, but he'll get fouled in the process. Let's see who they call it against. It's against number 14, Houghton. 6th foul against Purchase. 3rd against Houghton.
Great job by Bradley to be able to get in the paint and get the foul. Now he's got to make these 2 important free throws.
And
you know, Frank, you asked me in the first half, where would Hartwick need to be to which would be comfortable, so to speak? Well, down 13, they really need to be down 7 or 8 with about 6 minutes to go if they're really going to make a run.
I'd say even earlier than that, Jody. Probably around that 7 to 7.5 minute mark.
Yep.
Get this thing under 10 in the next minute or so, and we'll start talking about real possibilities here.
Correct, and now they're in it looks like a 1-3-1 extended zone. It is a 1-3-1.
Lobbin to Nixon for 3. Yes, his 5th one of the night.
And they've had tremendous difficulty closing out on him.
I can't call it a death knell, but at the same time, Jody, that's big. Lufkin does answer on the other end to keep this thing at 13.
Well, you're okay, but you don't want to be trading baskets.
Especially at 2s for 3s. And the ball controlled by Person right now. Back out to Stevens.
But if you look at his Purchase, 68 points, and there's still 8.5 minutes left to play.
Stevens kicks it over to Lobbin. 17 on the shot clock. They're using a lot of the shot clock suddenly. They know that they need to shorten the game themselves now, but it's stolen away. Bradley risks that 4th foul on that play, and his foul going up. He'll get 2 free throws and could take it down to 11.
And Hartwick keeps fighting. They're not going away anytime soon. Jeff Charney of Purchase wants a timeout.
It's a replay, and you can see he was pretty well manhandled there. That is a timeout, full timeout being called by Coach Charney because he was still about 9 seconds away from the one that would be granted to him by the media timeout. Let's take a quick look at our
Frank,
scoreboard.
do you think he actually knew that? I mean, it's difficult when you finally have a television game and you have media involved to understand when those timeouts are coming.
That's a good point, Jody, and I don't know, to be honest with you, on that one. I think sometimes forget. I didn't realize we had the media timeouts, to be honest with you, at the start of this game.
Right.
They were told in the walkthrough, I'm sure, but the last couple of years when he was in the tournament, or at least last year, they were not TV timeouts or media timeouts, so it does change.
No, it's part of the strategy of a game that you have to now understand how to use them and use them properly and when the media timeouts are coming. And you saw, interestingly, when Hartwick went down 17, they did not call one because they waited for the media timeout.
By the way, even though this is a shooting foul situation, Hartwick is in the 1-1 now, but they will be shooting throughout the rest of the game. A little bit of a contingent for Hartwick, maybe about 1/4 of the crowd, if that. It's much more a Purchase crowd here, and you got to expect that at home. First free throw, good. It's a 12-point game. Closest they've been in this half was 50-44, but that didn't last for very long. There was a quick run after that that took them back to double digits. Misses the second. Nixon with that rebound.
Hartwick back into 1-3-1. They look to trap up top.
Lobbing back to Stevens. Next whistle again will be a timeout as a reminder here. Stevens driving. Looked like he was fouled. They will eventually call it when he's in the act of shooting. And that is the team's 5th foul. I believe they called it against 13, or it was a 33.
And here's the media timeout.
As promised. Let's check that scoreboard and see who they do put it up against. Still waiting for that call. 15 foul goes up, and it's the third on Sutterly. And that's important.
But with 7.5 to go, he should be okay the rest of the way, theoretically.
Yep. Yeah, well, he can't pick up another one here in the next couple of minutes.
Correct.
Otherwise, it does put them in trouble. Well, again, across the nation right now, D3, the hoops action is going on for the first round. Last night, 2 games. York of New York beats Rhode Island College in a shocking game for a lot of people. Staten Island in York's conference with 2 losses doesn't get in the tournament as an at-large. Partially blamed because York beat them, and because York wasn't thought of as a good team by the committee, Staten Island didn't get in. Their strength of schedule was not very good. What's your feeling about that whole situation?
Has anyone seen Mike Woods play? He's one of the best players in the country. And you got to come watch him play, and it's New York City. And at any moment, these teams can play. It's CUNY basketball. And again, ESPN3 came and did televised the CUNY championship.
I know it.
They didn't televise any other championship. So to the committee and everybody else, CSI is a very good team. Tony Petosa does a good job, but York also does a very good job. 2 great teams, and I'm not here to comment if CSI should be in or not, but York did what they needed to do to quiet some critics last night and win.
Stevens hits the first of 2 on this shooting foul. 13-point lead now. And he puts it up, and no, it does not fall in. Bradley with the rebound. 13 points. Jody, they got to hit this basket, you got to think.
Well, Purchase is letting Hartwick hang around. Can Hartwick make a run? That's going to be the question now. 7:40 to go.
It's been a scrappy team all season in that respect, Jody, and they can bite teams when they start taking their eye off the ball. Geiser, 4-3, makes it a 10-point game.
And this is, we said it had to be a 10. You said 7.5. Well, 7.5. It's a 10-point game.
Down the other end. That's going to be Houghton. Back out. Nixon thought about the 3. Almost stolen from behind. It puts it off the glass and in.
And it just seems every time Hartwick scores, Purchase comes back with Nixon with a big basket.
23 for him tonight, if my math is correct. 7 minutes left in this regulation, at least. Back out and in. That's Bradley taking it strong, kicking it out. Person came up with that steal.
You wish you would have tried to finish. Maybe he would have got a foul.
That's what I'm thinking. Stevens off the knee of Sutterly.
Now, see, is that a kick ball?
That hits me as a knee, not a foot.
That's a knee ball.
Usually the shin is where it stops, right?
Right.
That's just an odd assortment of calls like that tonight. Here we go with an inbound. 28 still in the shot clock, though, as it did not reset it. Stevens over now into the corner. Nixon falls down. Gets back up. He's okay, but in the meantime, it's Houghton. Out to Stevens with 17 on the shot clock. Being guarded pretty closely by Geiser.
Now that was a kickball.
But I'm glad you admit to that.
The Rockettes were in town. It's not December, so they're traveling now.
Good point. 71-59 here. Purchase leading with 6:28 remaining in regulation. It's Stevens kicking out to Nixon 4-3. Number 6 on the night.
And Nixon again, another big shot.
26 points unofficially for Nixon. They're going to have to respond. Geiser, 4-3, no. Nixon with the rebound. He is all over the place in this game. Down the
and
other
you hate
way.
to say it, but a Purchase comes down to the scores right now.
I think that is the death knell. And there it is.
There it is.
Under 6 minutes. The largest lead of the game is now 17 points.
Back up to 17. What can Hartwick do to answer?
76-59. Bradley gets fouled by Houghton, his 4th.
But you just wish Bradley made that move 3 possessions ago when it was a 10-point game. Instead, he passes the ball out, and now Purchase goes on a 7-0 run to go up 17.
Nixon 28 points officially tonight, 28 points. And first free throw is good. They hit 60 now. It's 76-60. Second free throw up. It's good. It's 76-61. And a press. Stevens trying to break it. He's fouled in the backcourt. That's the one thing he did not want to do there.
Actually, I was watching Coach McGinnis. He actually did tell them start to foul.
Well, it is only their 6th foul. I guess he wants to utilize the 1-and-1s on the other end. Okay.
He's telling them exactly who to foul, actually.
Interesting. It is now the 1-and-1 situation officially, so Birch is just reaching the bonus. Stevens over to Nixon. Stopped. He could have crossed the 30 mark if he had actually shot and made that. Foul, though, on the floor. It'll be a 1-on-1 against Lufkin here. So it's going to be Stevens going to the line.
Jake Stevens III, who's had quite the journey in college basketball.
I'm Frank Rossi II, so I know the Roman numerals well on that. 73% free throw shooter is Stevens. And the front of the 1-on-1 goes in.
I'm the first, the only. In the Bronx, they call me Big Papi.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're hated in the Bronx?
Well, I guess I'm the only Big Papi they like.
Okay.
I guess that's it. Big Papi, Big Swami, whatever we are.
77-61, 16-point game. They got to turn up the intensity. Suddenly, with those 3 fouls back in the game. And it's put back in by Bradley there with that rebound and put back.
And he's having a great game, but it just might be a little bit too short.
14 points. It's still not over, Jody. I mean, we're 5 minutes left, but again, you're right. If you're a betting man here, which we're not, Nixon sending it in. Neary back in the game. It's been a while since we've seen him.
And he took a hard slap to the face.
Maybe he's reconsidering coming back in right now. 7'3" of him, and ouch. Yeah, on the way back down, he took that hand. He'll shoot 2. 4th foul.
Only a junior, Frank.
Against Laputka. 4th foul against Laputka. That was pretty quiet for. And the first is no good. 8th team foul for both teams now. 18 fouls. We have one more under 4-minute timeout or media timeout coming up, under 4. Second free throw is up and good. Back to 15 points.
Only a junior, Frank. You got to wonder if he continues to develop. Could the sky be the limit for this young man?
Like 7'5", 7'6". Is that what you're thinking? Inside. Suddenly, who's had a nice night, all things considered. Back around now, Bradley. Right corner. Who's trapped there. Laputka takes the outlet. Back. 3-point shot. Missed there. King couldn't get it involved.
Stevens looking to push the ball for Purchase.
And Neary's fouled inside, and that's Sutterly's 4th foul, I believe. 9th team foul, so double bonus will start up, and they're going to say a 1-on-1 situation here for Neary. 4 fouls against Sutterly officially. Okay, front end here, important. Got to be ready for a rebound. It's up, and it is good. 16-point lead again.
He's got the beautiful touch, Frank, on the release.
Yeah, for such a big man,
It's very impressive.
Yeah, it really is. You're almost, your arm is basically parallel to the basket when you're that tall, and he hits both.
Very impressive.
3 out of his last 4 after a hand to the face.
Purchase back in zone. 2-3 zone now. Will they look to match up on the dribbler?
Lufkin tries to draw a foul, but the putback, no, suddenly gets it back. Blocked by Neary. 4th opportunity here for Hartwick. Lufkin driving by Neary. Count it. Or no, what are they saying there?
Count the basket and the foul.
Count the basket and the foul. I saw one referee make an elbow move, but the other one called it underneath correctly. And we are seeing Hartwick take a timeout here. They will have 2 remaining, plus the under 4-minute timeout. Again, another questionable why take it now timeout with the media timeout coming up soon here. 15-point game, chance to make it 14.
Well, in this case, you probably want to set up your defense in the full court and possibly look to create some turnovers and get some easy baskets to pull you back into some sort, excuse me, of striking distance. Thank you very much. So we'll see what Hartwick does right now.
And they're ready to go. Is Hartwick? It was their timeout. Or actually, no, they say it was against Albertus Magnus. It was against Purchase. Coach Charney called that one. But again, 9 seconds before, or 10 seconds before the under 4 timeout.
Right.
So it's 3 timeouts remaining per team right now. Guess he didn't like what he saw on that and 1 situation. And Lufkin misses it. Lobbin with the rebound. Crosses the timeline. Sends it over to Person. Person back now. Stevens fakes a couple passes. But Person helps bail his team out of trouble. Lobbin with a 17-foot shot from the wing makes it.
Back up to 17, 3:45 left.
82-65. Lufkin feeding Sutterly. He spins around Neary. Neary's pretty scared here, it seems, to draw any kind of contact. I just want to check his foul number before I officially say more than that. And
Hartwick's already back on the court, which means Purchase must follow.
Neary does have 4 fouls, so he does not want to pick up his 5th.
Hartwick calling the timeout, Frank, to set up their press.
Well, actually, that's immediate timeout, though, Jody.
Oh, it is immediate timeout?
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if they were out fast. They probably didn't get told that correctly, so they probably should have spent another 20
Coach McGinnis
seconds.
called the timeout.
Did he stop action? I'm just trying to remember what happened there. Yeah, you're right. It was a call timeout. It had to be. So we have one pending now still. Good point. And foul, obviously, against number 11, Matt Petruccione. And it will be the timeout now. There you go.
There it is.
Media timeout. 3:31 remaining here in the second half. 82-67, Purchase with the lead. And shots will be coming. So, Jody.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to put it to bed quite yet here.
I'll say it. Purchase Albertus tomorrow night. What do we got? I'm throwing it to you now.
Oh, you're throwing it to me?
I'm throwing it to you. Purchase Albertus. What do we got?
He's throwing it to me, folks. We're right here. He's throwing it to me. Okay, here, I'll catch it. Throw it.
Here we go. There it is.
So, okay, Purchase versus Albertus Magnus tomorrow night. I personally see a game in the 90s tomorrow night, Jody, and I think that favors neither team necessarily. I think we're going to see a slugfest on this floor for Purchase and Albertus Magnus. Your turn.
I don't disagree. I think you have two good teams, 2 similar teams, and I really think, again, Ian Davis is the best player on the court tomorrow night. So what Ian Davis is going to do is going to determine whether or not they win or lose.
And we're back to action here. Actually, they didn't see us, I don't think. Thank goodness. We get messy by 4 hours of action here. Free throws coming up here.
And by the way, we take nothing away from Andre Nixon, who's played fabulous all year, and Joel Neary and Justin Person.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, look, Nixon has 28 points tonight.
Right.
Neary gets some foul trouble, and again, for the second straight game, is kind of quieted in terms of the shots.
Right. If Ian Davis doesn't get in foul trouble tonight, is that game against WPI, is it over a little bit earlier?
Well, remember, big number 1 tomorrow, Victor versus Neary. That's going to be a good matchup to watch as Sutterly makes that basket and makes it a 15-point game again.
And then we haven't even spoken about Darius Watson, who's their team's leading scorer.
Yeah, he had a quiet night, all things considered, as we had a little bit of a Davis show in that game as Person takes it underneath for an easy basket. Back to 17. You can feel this one is pretty much
away.
Sliding, literally. And here is Lufkin. Petruccione to a 3 by Laputka. Off the back of the rim, Neary with the rebound. It's almost like Neary could just stay back there right now, let his team play because
50-44, Frank. 50-44. Purchase extends the game, brings it up to 17. It got cut back down to 10, but Purchase was able to bring it back up. Sign of a very good basketball team.
Yeah, I mean, that early spurt, we saw a 20-20 game. That was the closest the game got. They never really had taken a lead in this game, did Hartwick. Then a 9-0 run pushed them away for good, and the closest they got after that was 6 in the second half. Neary with that basket. Both teams in the double bonus. In case
Just
you're
real
wondering.
quick, what a great job Coach Trani has done the past couple of years at Purchase.
Past couple of years?
Well, before he got here, I mean, Purchase basketball was what? And what he's been able to do, 4 Skyline championships in 5 years is absolutely amazing.
And there's a foul. And coming down for shots will be Matt Patricione. His son Chad, a great guy, great coach. But
then again, Eric Smiles is no longer at Farmingdale State, and Jody King's no longer at Maritime.
True. That is true.
So Purchase lost some of its competition, but give credit where credit's due. Mount St. Mary's and all the other schools have done a great job competing. But Purchase really seems to be in a class by themselves right now, and it shows tonight as they're about to get an NCAA tournament win.
By the way, I know you're happy at your job and everything, don't get me wrong, but it's Maritime's loss not having you as their coach after the time you spent there. I know you've been outside Division III for a little while, helping me out and Dave and Pat and all that, but it still is Maritime's loss in that respect. All the respect in the world to the school, but decisions are made, whatever. It's Hostos' gain, most definitely, and look at what you did at Hostos this year with the CUNY Community College tournament, winning it, and 1 game away from winning the regional tournament for the NJCAA. If any Division III AD is out there watching this one, Jody King, look him up, folks. I'm going to do a sales pitch for you, although I know you were happy at Hostos, so I probably shouldn't state that out loud.
Well, Frank, 22 wins a season at Hostos, 3rd in the country this year, 26 wins this year. Thank you very much. I love being a Cayman. It's a terrific environment, a great place to play.
Great history of that
Great
school.
history of Hostos. And again, Cayman basketball special. We're just glad that we're bringing the tradition back to Hostos basketball into the South Bronx.
Minute 57 left here, 88-71. I think you're going to see some mass changes occurring on the floor by both teams here. And this is where we have to drag out the rosters.
If you look at Lufkin and you look at Lapuka, they couldn't really get going in the second half to help out their big men and their wings. And that was really the story, and especially Jake Stevens coming in for Purchase and slowing the game down for Purchase and running team offense was also a big moment for Purchase in their 17-point lead right now.
Well said. Wholesale changes, I think, are coming from this timeout. That's why it was taken. And, look, Hartwick, good effort. And Coach McGinnis deserves a lot of credit for what he does with his team. They hung in there for longer than I think you and I thought originally. If Purchase was playing their A game or at least their B-plus game, I thought it could be a rout. It was not a rout until late here.
Hey, January 31st, lose by 10 to Nazareth. Then they beat St. Fisher College. But then they lose to Elmira. Then they lose to Alfred. Okay? Then they go to Then they get Stevens at home. They actually beat Stevens, a tough team. Things started to run a little bit, and they go on a 6-game win streak, which brings them back to Nazareth, who they beat to get here tonight. And again, Hartwick had a great year. You're looking at one point, they were 12-9, and they win the last 6, go 18-9. They had a great year. They had a great night. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Empire 8 known more for their football than their basketball overall nationally, but, there are pockets of strength in there, and I could see this very young Hartwick team, if they can get through a decently tough conference again next year, making a mark in the NCAAs. They have to get back here first.
They have to
get
back.
Said and done.
And the Empire 8 is no piece of cake.
No. But look, this team, I think this is a good lesson for them no matter what. I know they wanted to win the game, but they got to hold their heads up high. They did play a decent game here tonight, and I think know now what it feels like to play in this environment. Geiser missed there, and Lobbin with the alley-oop.
Yep. Alley-oop for 2. Maybe Purchase pulls the ball out, but you can't blame them looking to put the exclamation mark on the game.
Lufkin, a long-distance 3, and I hope Purchase does do the smartest thing here.
Well, it's interesting. Hartwick doesn't want to see it, so they commit the foul. That's interesting.
At this point,
they have to be very careful right now, and these referees have to take control of this game.
At this point, for both teams' sakes, both teams need to be smart here.
Right. Well, if you're Purchase, you're up 20, a minute 30 to go. I mean, some people would say some things we do at Hostos, but again, heat of the moment, pull the ball out.
Yeah, last week.
Jake Stevens, you look 25, 26 years old, where you can't compare him to an 18-year-old player at Hostos, but pull the ball out.
Last week in the Skyline Championship, they did keep running plays this late with a big lead, and they wanted to get to 100 for the first time this season.
Wow.
I think there's some kind of promotion if they do for the students, and that's part of the reason. But this is the NCAA tournament.
Sportsmanship is key.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right.
Especially when Hartwick is said they're going to foul you if you do it.
And right there, another foul. And you can hear there's the soup is what the chant is in the background. There's some kind of...
Chad Charney, the son of Coach Charney, laughing on the bench. Again, got to remain professional.
Lobbin to shoot the 2 free throws. We will not have any reviews after this. There's a cool-off period, just so you know. So this is it pretty much for us tonight. We'll be back on the air at 6:55 tomorrow, Eastern Time. Don't forget, it is Daylight Savings Weekend, so after tomorrow night, set your clocks ahead. Misses both free throws. No problem.
That is actually key information. That must be the most important information we've said tonight.
Really?
Yes, because I'm going to forget. So when I show up at halftime tomorrow, don't get mad at me. And the crowd is going nuts as Isaac Campbell, senior from local Mount Vernon High School, is coming in the game as Purchase finally begins to unload their bench, up 23 with 1:04 left.
And we're at 1 minute left in the second half here. 94-71, largest lead around here right now. It's 23 points. Stevens. They're still going to play straight up here. I can't believe this, Jody. Sent into Houghton. He was trapped with 2 men on him. Back to Stevens. Here we go. Smartly sitting with 10 on the shot clock. 8, 7. He's going to take the 3 with 3 seconds left. He'll start driving. Does Stevens, scoops it, fouled, and count it.
Well, there's a couple different trains of thought with this. Hartwick still has some of their better players in the game as they're starting to come out now. But again, maybe you take that shot clock violation up 24. But again, Purchase is going to win this game tonight, up 26 right now. They're going to win this game as they look to clear the bench. But tomorrow's going to be a great game, ladies and gentlemen. 6:55, tune in as Purchase and Albertus Magnus are going to go head-to-head. Ian Davis, Andre Nixon at Purchase, round number 2 NCAA tournament.
Shot clock is off. Bradley can't get the finger roll to fall in, and they can hold this. Just got to cross half court.
And Purchase is going to get the 26-point win, 97-71. Congrats to Purchase. Nothing wrong with Hartwick. They played their hearts out today.
And there's the buzzer. There's the crowd. Happy to see the Purchase Panthers win. 97-71.
And there we have it, 50-44. 13 minutes to go. Purchase takes the rest of the game and takes control and wins easily.
47 to 27 was the rest of the way. 26-point win. And we are going to shut this one down here, folks. We do appreciate you watching all night long. It's going to be a great game tomorrow, Jody. Albertus Magnus at SUNY Purchase, the second time this season these teams have faced. Again, a quick preview.
Andre Nixon, Ian Davis. It's going to be awesome, baby.
Darius Watson. Joel
Neary. It's going to be a fun game with players that can go. Second round NCAA tournament. Everybody needs to tune in or come down here to Purchase. And if you come down, bring Frank and I a slice of pizza. We'll appreciate it.
We do appreciate that. So for Jody King, I'm Frank Rossi saying goodnight after this 97-71 victory by Purchase and earlier the 68-66 victory by Albertus Magnus. Great runs to Hartwick, who lost in this game, and earlier tonight, WPI, the loss in a very strong NUMAC team. 4 teams went. WPI played like champs tonight, but just came up short. We'll see you tomorrow, 6:55 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 o'clock tip.
Frank,
Thanks.
great job.
You too, Jody. Thank you.